So welcome back to another video, Legends, and you normally see me talking all things slot cars like this incredible quick track slot car news, and reviewing all things slot car related. But the legends at BenQ have reached out to me and said, Trav, can you review the BenQ Ideacam S1 Pro? And you're probably thinking, how is this little guy going to fit in my slot car world? Well, after reading the info sheet and looking at the box, I said, yes, send it to me, because this little thing might have some tricks up its sleeve to help me with some future reviews. Not only I'm hoping it's going to be an incredible webcam for some live streams, but this thing might actually help me with some really cool close-ups moving forward. So stick around and let's check out my review of the BenQ Ideacam S1 Pro. Let's go. So before we put the BenQ Ideacam S1 Pro to the test, I have some ideas. I'm actually going to really put this thing to the test for the toy world. I want to say a big thank you to BenQ. They did reach out and say, Trav, can you do an honest review through your eyes for your hobby, which is the slot car toy world, to see if this thing can help you moving forward. Not only is it a webcam, but after reading some of the functions and seeing some of the other reviews, I said yes, and I will tell you why in a tick. If you are interested in this, by the end of the video, there's going to be links down below. I'm not being paid for this. This has been sent for an honest review, but the links will be down below to help support BenQ. They did send me one, so if you do like it, there'll be some places that you can purchase it. But now let's get stuck into it. Let me spin this around. And again, all the tech gurus out there, don't come at me, because I'm going to get a lot of tech stuff wrong. I'm not a tech reviewer, but some things did get me excited. Firstly, I'm a Sony guy. I do like Sonys. I'm into cameras. I do take some photography when it's coming to toys, and we've got an 8 megapixel Sony CMOS, which to me, Sony's good. Sony is normally a really good brand, so having Sony internals, I'm happy with that. But that's not where it stops. 15 times magnifying lens. Now this is what caught my attention. A good webcam is really good, but a webcam that I can do something different with, and I'm going to bring a little test subject in, is what got me excited. This is a HO slot car, think 1/64 in scale, your little toy cars. And I'm using my phone here, so we're gonna really not get that much detail, which will put the cam to the test very soon. On that back parcel shelf is a brown dot. That is a dog. So we're gonna try and zoom in on that and see how close we can get, because I believe there is almost like a macro version in here, some kind of setup that you can zoom right in. So we're gonna put that to the test, and that's why I said yes, because I want to show so much detail on some of the smaller stuff I do. This little guy can help me. Not only 30 frames per second, AI noise reduction. I do live streams, so this one I'll be moving forward with some live streams, and it looks like it's got a little glow light there, so hopefully it does light up the area nicely, so you don't have to put any extra lights like I have behind the camera. But that's enough of the jargon. Let's do a quick unboxing. Again, I'm not going to get too into it. I want to show you what you get inside, and then we're going to put this little baby to the test. So let's dive headfirst into the unboxing. I'm not going to show you all the warranty cards and all the finer details, but I do want to show you what you get inside. So there is our warranty and all that other jargon, our instructions, which I probably should read. But here is the stuff that I'm excited about. Now, this is the first time I've looked at this. Straight up, I want to pull out this little guy, which I have watched some reviews, and this appears to be your magnetic cup or lens. So it will go magnifying lens, so you put it down on the subject. We will get a good idea of this very soon, and that's how you get a closer look, either this way or that way. We'll figure that out together. Excited to see that. So that is one piece of the puzzle. Next up, we've got our stand, bit of a chunky boy. Here is our stand, which I'll figure out how to work that before we get stuck into the review. It's got a little bit of weight to it, so I'm guessing it's going to be like a counter weight, so when the camera's leaning over, it won't fall. We'll get stuck into that. So that is your, let's call that your bracket or your fixture. Onto the camera, and here it is. It looks cool. So there it is, the BenQ around to the back. BenQ again with a nice long lead. We've actually got a really long lead. I think it's going to come in handy for when we try and do some tricks with this. And then we've got what appears to be some kind of, is it a cap or a resting? We will figure out what all this does. Once I've set it up, I will show you. But what is in here? Let's take that off. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Now I forgot all about this. So this is your control center. Okay, that's okay. That's really cool. So we've got some buttons here. Obviously, we've got camera, autofocus, manual focus, mute. Don't know what that is. We'll figure that out. I'm guessing that's going to be your zoom in, maybe, or it's going to be like a capture or something similar. But we'll definitely figure that out. And you get your USB. I guess that's your wireless dongle. Again, we'll figure that out. And even some batteries. So we've got 2 AAAs. Rightio, so there is our camera and all our goodies. Let me quickly read the instructions, set it up, and then we'll switch over to camera mode. But I think before we go to camera mode, I'll show you it all set up, and then we'll test out the functions. Let's go. So we have the camera up and running. I figured out what all these parts and pieces do, but what you will need to do is read your quick guide. I know I didn't show that during the unboxing, but I did resort back to the quick guide just to figure out what all these parts and pieces do, and I'll talk you through them now. Firstly, you'll go to inspire.benq.com and download the program, which we'll be recording from, and it is called Inspire, as you can see, and I'll be recording very soon directly from this. At the moment we are using my phone camera, the webcam is on, but let's quickly talk through how it's affixed to the laptop. We've got our nice big bracket here. You've got a little screw at the back which allows you to lever that in and out depending on how big your screen is, and our webcam simply, and I will have to put some B-roll in here as well, falls on top. So a nice little cutout tab on top, and that tab can also look down. Now I will try and do it with one hand, but it'll probably fall off or I'll pull the screen down. So here's some B-roll of me tilting this down, showing you that that can now turn into a face down. So if you've got some documents here, you'll be able to show them whilst you're streaming. That plugs in as a standard USB. We've got our, which I did not know what this was, but it must be magnetized on the front. That is our webcam cover. That looks cool. Big fan of that, so let's take that off because we do need to use the webcam. And we've also got our magnifying cup, which is exactly what I thought it was, and that will clip on like so. We will be testing that. Over this side, we've got our full controls from this wireless, yes, it is wireless, to our little dongle here, and that can control stuff on the screen. So if I press the freeze button, it's now frozen. If I unpress the freeze button, we go back. Just a nice little thing. So if you are, like I do, need to use this to review some toys, I don't have to resort back to touching the computer. I can play with this little wireless thing here. What else can I show you? We've got a little light on the back. If we press the back button, there is our little daylight. You'll see it doesn't do too much in my shed, but I guess once we get up close and personal with some products, that might help. And we'll now have to check out the quality itself. So I think that's all the parts and pieces. Let's dive into it and let's move to camera mode. So let's take a look at the BenQ Ideacam. I'm going to film this completely through the camera with the camera's audio. So we're going to do this, it's not live, but we're not going to stop. We're going to go from start to finish. We're going to try all the functions whilst we're using the camera. I've watched a lot of reviews, and there's some great reviews out there that understand camera tech more than me, but I haven't seen one of them filmed like this yet. So let's get stuck into it. Right now you're seeing the footage from the BenQ Ideacam. I've got to be honest straight away, I have had better webcams. I do use a better webcam for streaming, but this has got some tricks that might sway me. So let's get stuck into it. Firstly, I am in a massive shed. We are fixed on 50 Hertz, which I'll show you. We've got some fair settings in the Aspire suite. We'll go to image settings, and you can see down the bottom we've got 50 Hertz anti-flicker, and we've got 60 Hertz, and you'll see it start flickering, flickering, flickering. We'll go to 50 because it's better viewing for you guys in my shed. Now again, it's loud, it is tinny, the lighting's not the greatest, and it's probably not the best for any webcam, me doing this review in here. But hey, BenQ sent it to me to review it how I normally would, and this is where I normally would be, or probably actually less lighting in the back. Also, you can see on the side here, we've got brightness, contrast, saturation, sharpness. You have got everything you need to do to adjust this. Now, I'm no professional. All I like doing is going warm, neutral, cool, or low light. So at the moment, we'll go low light, 50 Hertz. We'll leave it at that. I might actually change the resolution. I think it looks better when I do the 1944. Pushes me out a bit, but it makes it a little bit sharper. Again, not a professional, but that is the options that you can use. Next up, let's go to source settings. So we are using the camera, and you can see I am using the microphone, which I'm recording directly into my program that I do my editing in. And then we've got the capture settings. I've got it very high, and I've got it saved or location saved if I record through the Inspire app to a location on the PC, which is really good because if you do want to film away from your normal streaming, it's good that you can film directly to the PC. Original source will take away a lot of the play functions I'm about to show you, but let's get into it. And then note settings, we'll talk about that as we go. So firstly, image. We're a little bit washed out. Again, I'm not in the greatest room. Let's put the back light on, and you can see straight away that it doesn't really do much. At the moment, the contrast, I'm very bright, and you can see the autofocus trying to pick me up, and that's partly to blame because of the shed. I highly recommend you check out other reviews because they do get a sharper quality, but I haven't seen anyone review it through the camera yet. So let's turn that light off for now. Let's dive to, we'll go with the play functions on the screen in a tip, but let's go to the wireless puck. This little guy. Now, this is cool. It feels premium. It's going to do a lot of the functions that I can do on screen, and that's the point of it. Almost hands-free. So let's quickly zoom in by turning this ring. If I turn it inwards, and you can see, let's get back out of there. When you turn that metal ring, the buttons stay where they are, but it actually turns around. You can zoom yourself in. Let's go one section. Hold on, there we go. Oh, too far. You've also got your autofocus and manual focus switchable buttons, so you can actually change your focus on screen as well as on here. You've got your mute, you've got your freeze button. Ready? I'm still here. And now I'm back, so you can freeze it also on the screen, and you've got the capture button. So that's just your little hands-free. It's wireless with that little USB dongle. But now let's look at some of the fun functions that are on the actual screen itself. Now, some of these may work for you, some not. We can do freeze again, self-explanatory. We can also put some notes. If you are, and I'll show you a trick that the camera does in a tick, but if you're wanting to point something out, highlight something, well, for me, I think I need to beautify myself so I can put whatever I want. This is the function that you want to do it for, but I'm just showing you that you can do whatever you want whilst you are streaming. Let's delete that because not only does it make me look silly, but it hasn't made me look any better. So we've got the drawing function. We can turn that off. You've also got some overlays here, which again, it may be a game changer. If you're a draftsman, if you're trying to show something in size, this is what you can do. You can put some overlays over, either choosing white or black. I think we'll stick with white because you can see that better depending on your background. So here we go. We've got some angles, I believe it says, diameters, and last but not least, we've got distance. And that is pretty cool. And if I hold up something to show you when you start measuring, of course, you can put that on screen and measure whatever you want. I was never good at maths, so we won't be doing any measuring today. What else do we have? We've also got the, this is what it's going to make you a bit seasick. We can go vertical, stretch it around a bit. And we can also go horizontal, which I don't know what function that would be good for you, but the option is there to do it whilst you are streaming. Let's turn that off. One tick, I don't think we can get that off now. Reset, there we go. Turn that one off. What do we got here? Rotate and flip, which is self-explanatory. We can flip at all angles. We can go upside down, and we can mirror, which is a big one because sometimes when you go live or whatever, you might have all your writing backwards. And then we've got our manual zoom, which, sorry about that, we did that earlier by the ring itself. So that is our zoom. We've also got mute, which is a normal function, and we've got our auto and manual focus, which will come in handy later when I'm doing some zooming in. So you can see here we can focus ourselves or put it back in, but I'll put it back on auto and it should pick me up. Again, I'm very bright. There is no ring light on, but that's just because it's trying to pick up the light from behind. And I've got really bad lighting above. But as a webcam, I think it's an entry-level webcam, but with the added functions, might be something you want to look at. I'm going to show you now the tilt function. So I'm going to put something that we can put down on the laptop, and this will come in handy if you're trying to show documents and you don't want to set up two cameras. Now, when I stream, I normally have a second camera up and running, which will show off models like this. And yes, it has flipped itself around. Again, you can put this on a tripod, but if you want to flip it like this, if it doesn't bother you that you're showing it around the other way, and as you can see now, it's the right way up. But the good thing about that is we can zoom in, show off what we want to show. It's not going to be the best detail when it's being streamed like you can see here, but you get the gist. You can see what's going on. And if we go to our draw function, you can then, don't erase it, we can then start marking out the brand and everything else, which I think that's really cool. Let's delete that. Let's turn that off. So there is your tilt function. Let's bring that back, and I'm going to be highly zoomed in, upside down. Sorry about that again. Let's zoom on back out. And I still don't have the ring function. You can see how bright this screen. If I turn my screen down, that should get away some of that highlight. And also, I've got a really big open door, which is letting a lot of the natural sun in. So it's not doing the best job of getting rid of that natural light, but you can also turn your screen. And if I turn that on, it should wash some of it out a bit, or it might actually even make it worse. Who knows? But there you go. That is the camera itself. Now, next up, I'm going to zoom in and show you really cool function. Now, this is what I'm excited about. I'm going to put the lens on, and you're going to feel like you've been drinking
Wait, so now I've gone all fuzzy.
So unfortunately, as I put the cap on, we lost the majority of the audio. So is that a fault of the camera? I'm not too sure. Is that an oversight that I can fix with future cameras? I would say yes. So what I will talk you through is what I'm trying to say whilst it was muffled is this little cap that we put on, the zoom cap, your macro cap. It really brings out some of the finer details, and what we are looking at here is a 132 scale slot car, right up and close to some of the high details. You can see the markings, you can see all the fine print when it comes to the livery design. But this is what blew me away. This is 164 in scale, nice clear shot of the driver. We've got the indicators. Now I'm trying to do this with one hand, and if you had enough time to sort of position the camera properly, you would get a better shot. This is mind-blowing. I was very impressed. You can see at the back here with the number plate, which is in clear view of the camera, and I unfortunately was pushing a little bit too hard, so the cap tried to come off. But then we've got on the back of the parcel shelf is a little dog, and you can see it. It is minute. So unfortunately the audio did die, but let's now pick it up and continue with the review. So let's take that off. I actually want to show you what you can do with this as a normal webcam. Now, as you can see, we've probably zoomed in a little bit too far. Let's take that away. Let's put the camera in, and we'll go back to auto focus because it's not really wanting to pick up the small object. Hence why it is great to have the little attachment on. So let's put us back up on the stand. We'll fix out the blemishes that we've just created, and hopefully I am back. So this little thing is incredible. That was a minute 164 scale model, and the little dog on the parcel shelf we're looking at was that little brown speck. And now, because there's so much going on in the background, it might not want to pick up the zoom. Oh, there you go. We've got a nice little shot there of the dog on the parcel shelf. So remember, if you are in a well-lit area, if you haven't got as much noise behind you, I've got items that this thing is trying to pick up left, right, and center, and I wanted to test it in my real-world situation. Do I think this is worth the money? Look, with the added functions, and I think in a better lit area, you can get more out of it. This will be used in some of my reviews coming up, and definitely my lives. I love that tilt function. I will fix the backdrop. I'm not normally in such a well-lit area, but day to day, this is how I would use it, and I think we get away with it. Again, the zoom itself is trying to pick up everything but me in the background. We could probably fix that with either position of the camera itself, position of me, and as you can see, it picks me up. Now I'm going to quickly just play with that coloring because I am washed out a touch. If I bring in the neutral light, the only problem we're going to get is we're going to get more of that flicker, but now you can see it's washed out all the color, and it's more of a highlight on me than it is anything else. So you can play with it. Not a professional. I want to say a big thank you to BenQ. This was to me, a little bit of a game changer when it comes to doing the online the online streaming, but also wanting to check some of these finer details. So if you are interested in tuning into the channel, please do. You will see some of these cars, especially this one being reviewed very soon, and I'll be using the BenQ to show off some of those finer details, and that's just one thing I think you can do with this. So there you go. I think is this the first live review through the BenQ? I'm not cool. I'm not sure. It's not cool. I'm not sure. Let me know. But as always, add That's Okay on Instagram, YouTube, and all those great places. Thank you very much to BenQ. Please check out the description in the link down below if you want to purchase yourself one of these. This was sent to me free of charge for an honest review. I'm not getting any money or paid for this, so I do appreciate you watching. And if you do like it, grab yourself one. But you know what? It's time for me to go and review some toys. Bye.